Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a good Tuesday. Thank you guys for joining me today. I am I'm struggling a little bit here. I ate something for lunch today that is not agreeing with me, and my stomach has just been rolling ever since about noon today. And so if I have to get up and step away for a bit, it's probably because I have to go purge my stomach. But I'm gonna do my best to hang in there and keep things together for you guys, but definitely on the struggle bus today. Uh, but it's good to see you all. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully we'll get through this together as best we can. All right, let's just start saying hi to everybody and get it going. Truth Teller 101, Lino Vincent, Lucy Anders, Biden suck stuff, Cushion on. Good to see you guys all out there on D Live. Shout out to all of you watching on Rumble as well. Hit that thumbs up button for us. I see Joe Elaine modding the chat. Thank you, Joe. Liberty's Great Awakening, Spiky 999, Brian 1871, and Kay Landry out there as well. Good to see all of you guys hanging out over on Rumble. Corey Chemo checking in. Also good to see you. And then, of course, we're in the comfy bunker on pilled.net. And let's see who's all hanging with us over on Pilled. Let's see. Scrolling up. Floyd in there first today. What's up, Floyd? Good to see you. Yeah, I got it set up very early today. Lightspear Lance, good to see you as well. Packers 412, Lyle and Jenny in the house. Great to see you guys. Due diligence. What's up, Floyd? A triple stuffed Wagyu bison taco with all the extras. That's how bad my stomach is hurting right now. That doesn't even sound appealing to me. Um, I hope that it's just like a little upset stomach that goes away pretty quickly here. Curious one. There's the other half. Lyle, Jenny, good to see both you guys in the chat. Much love, you guys. Delia, what's up, Delia? How are you? Good to see you. Packers, not Packers, Patriots 714 out there. What's going on? Great to see you as well. Facts, not fear. Welcome. There's Kaiman Milan Lave checking in from South Africa. Good to see you, buddy. And shout out to all of our Patriots abroad. Oh, Joe Elaine, of course, keeping the chat nice and comfy over here. Good to see you, Joe. D. Richard in the house as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Truth Teller 101, double dipping. Love to see it. Floyd dropping me a link and a cookie. Thank you, Floyd, for the early support. And I'll check out the link. It looks like a YouTube short just based on the URL. So maybe we could play that here in a bit. Spiky 999 also double dipping. Pip's mom checking in from abroad across the pond in Wales, UK. What's up, Pip? General Buford, R. Harrell, Fazit, great to see you guys out there. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. Barb Robbins in the house. Facts, not fear. Cali Patriot 14. KC Powwow, Laura Y, repping the 412, lurking while at the dentist. All right, well, I hope your dentist appointment goes well. Snow Bunny 68, good to see you. Qhio 17, welcome, always in Texas. Good to see you as well. Good afternoon, Mr. Gerardo. Hope you're having a good one, my friend. Thirst for Knowledge, Idaho Patriot out there as well. Dale Bursier checking in from North Dakota. Yeah, Delia, maybe next week when I get back from vacation, we'll get you to come up here and tell us all about the Carrie Lake bribe situation. I remember she mentioned being bribed or an attempted bribe, but I guess more details are coming out. I saw a tweet about that earlier today. Sammy Lou, great to see you. Awake Russell, welcome. Good to see you as well. Clover Lily in the house. Great to see you, Clover. How are you today? There's my man, 2A Freedom Rider, repping the 412. Let's go, 2A. And who else? Lord Mad Dog out there. What's going on? Our 4 cents. There's Cat Oilman 94. Great to see him. My man Season Pixels hanging out with us. Host of the Breakdown live at 6:30 p.m. after this show goes off the air. Catch up with all the headlines with Pixels. He does an awesome job. Mez, what's up, Mez? Good to see you. Canada A in the house. Band Mom, Texas. Welcome. Jeff Den. Dread Quarters, great to see you guys out there. Hope you're having a good one. You like this shirt? Thanks, man. It's one of my golf shirts. I wore it. I had to go into the office today, and I ended up eating at this food truck, and I swear to God, it like made me sick. I swear to God, like something that I ate there, the chicken I ate from this food truck is not sitting well with me. I said I might have to go throw up at some point. So if you see me scurry away from my seat at any point, it's probably because I can't hold it down any longer. Braves piano says, hope you feel better, Adel. Try to eat or drink something with ginger. I don't have anything with ginger, unfortunately, but I'll survive. Like I said, I think I need to ride it out or go purge and I'll feel better. But we'll see what happens. Biatch, good to see you. Yes, the New Hampshire primary today. Good. It should be fun to see the results come in. PNW Sasquatch, how are you? Kelly's free 20 in the house as well. Range Pony, what's up, Range Pony? PNW Sasquatch, Kim Iowa, bringing the heat, driving. Please drive safely. There's A from PA in Rasta. What's up, guys? Lord Mad Dog, Rye Guy for life. Good to see you all out there. Nezercat repping Wyoming. What's up, Nezercat? Aluna Moondrops out there as well. What's going on? Filter Dog 1. My name is D. Great to see you guys. Smallwood for Trump in the house. Good to see you there, Smallwood. We got Boys Blancs. It's snowing. I want to be day drinking and a pirate. LOL. Yeah, me and you both. And then Conservative Chris with Shade says, new addition to my collection of the Chia heads. So I'll grab this link as well, throw it on my clipboard, see if we have some time to get into that a bit later. Thank you, Chris, for the shades. I really appreciate it, man. And I'll do my best to get to that and the link that Floyd sent me here in the pre-show. Sheaves Coin DX, what's going on, guys? Great to see you. Eagle Freedom out there as well. Welcome. And Pensator, what's up, Pensator? Spirit 554 in the house. Dread Quarters and Too Quick. Dread Quarters says that Zach's shirt. Admit it. It is one that you would probably imagine Zach to be wearing. That's pretty funny. Ed 512. Do you post full videos anywhere else? No, the only place to watch the entirety of this show is right here on Pilled, but there's a replay section where you could watch the full videos here. Norm, Hang 10, Alien Surfer, welcome. Trick Pody, good to see you. Let's see, who else? I don't really have time. Nezercat with a fleet is a little coin towards a great trip. Thank you so much for that, Nezercat. I really, really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. That's super generous. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble. But I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Cycle Chris says breaking Kerry Lake's bribery attempt recorded. Yeah, that's Delia was talking about that as well. Very, very interesting indeed. A little insight. What's up, Liana? How are you? Great to see you, Liana Wilbert out there. And there's Wisconsin on as well. Jenker 2, Silent Warrior, Ghost Pepper, Thumper Rose. Good to see all you guys. I'm going to start the video. Rock and roll pussy hole. Been a while. Burt Cocaine, thank you for the can. I really appreciate it. Mama Bear Patriot, great to see you. And thank you for being here. All right, let's play this intro and get this going. Give them all a good scratch behind the ears for me there, Pixels. That's awesome. All right. We'll be back in a few minutes.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Y'all for tuning in, Patriots United, doing what we gotta do to win. Be addicted, the MS7, now we're moving in. And once we take over, we won't won't ever move again. Where we go on, we go all. I say it with pride. No, we won't run, we won't fall. We're right by your side. The demons have taken hold, but none of us will abide. Stand strong and stand bold, that's how we'll survive. 412 is the production. Monday through Friday, deplorable discussions. We're making it hard for the deep state to function. Every time they switch up the narrative, we debunk it. Adol Nero is the power that's controlling the flight. With all the patriots behind them, cause we're all in this fight. So many rhyme for so long, but we're giving them sight. Trapped in the world of darkness, but we're bringing them light. You may even find yourself in a different life. A lot of us have, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Because exactly where you are at this moment in life is where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. It's all by design, the patriots are holding the line. They must have lost theirs, thinking they're controlling our minds. So many trapped in mental prisons don't know they're confined. They're just slaves in the system till the roles are assigned. That's sad, the good news is that we're waking them up. They have monopolies on minds, but we're breaking them up. Everything you thought was news, they were making it up. When we ascend, all the tyrants won't be making the cut. Let them all burn in the hellscape they create. We the people already mapped out our escape. We hold each other by the hand as we all elevate and go to a different place. They can never get chased. When I look into the future, I can see that it's bright. When this history is written, they will see that we're right. We formed our own community and the circle is tight, but I expand the circle with every word that I write. The pen is sharper than the sword when you wield it with might. Why do you think they try to kick us off all the sites? These people hate America, punish us out of spite. We are the beacons of hope in the darkness of night. So let's go, strap in, yeah, get ready for the ride. Watch the water, we're witnessing the turning of the tide. Feel the passion and the fire that you got burning inside. Take the narrative they're feeding you and turn it to the side. We're alerted to the lies, we're preaching with the truth. We know the plan they devised, they're invading the youth. Now we're only incentivized to start raising our boots. These demons all weaponized. Now we're raising our troops. Now we're raising the roof and sounding the alarm. Remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. Life is a game of chess. They want to use you as a pawn. You're only useful until you're not useful, then you're gone. But not us, we're on the right team where we belong. Everybody is invited, so come follow along. We refuse to say things are right knowing they're wrong. Adol Nero, take the mic and take flight, cause it's on.
And now, straight from the Steel City, it's your host, 412 Adol Nero.
All right, guys. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining us for another installment of Deplorable Discussions. My name is Adol Nero. It is December. It's January 23rd, 2024, and I am riding shotgun with my OG Tennessee homesteader and Maxanon of the Rise Attire Tribe over at riseattireusa.com. What's up, Max? How are you today?
Doing good. Yeah, it's a gray, cold, rainy day. I bet it's cold everywhere. It's been the coldest here that we've ever had since we moved down to South Carolina. And still, for the most part, there's only been like 2 times ever that you've been able to see your breath outside, and like in 3 years. So that's not bad. I'll take it. Yeah, I hope everybody out there's doing well. What a amazing start 2024 has gotten off to, and I'm sure we're going to talk about all the reasons that's true. This week is no exception, so I'm excited. I have not heard any news since 11 o'clock this morning, so if anything has happened, I'm going to learn about it with you guys here now. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I don't know how much stuff has broke lately, but definitely have some interesting things to get into today for sure. But I'm glad you're here, Max. Thank you for joining. And let's say hi to Tennessee Homesteader next. Tian, how you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. I was able to get out and actually cleaned off the entrance to my driveway to the property.
Nice.
Kind of funny.
Is it
First
warm?
time I've ever done it by hand.
It's 43 degrees here. I imagine it's probably warm enough that it's starting to melt a bit, isn't it, Tian?
Yeah, yeah, it helps, but it's still quite a bit of snow on the ground. Let's see, what is it right now? It's 49 on my neck of the woods. So yeah, it helps So I wanted to cut a track on the driveway and then clean out the entrance. So that's all I did.
Right on.
Just took my side by side, my ATV or RTV, really. That's what this one's called, and a rough terrain vehicle, and then just went down the driveway, cutting a nice wide track.
There you go. Nice. Well, glad you're able to get that done, and glad it's warming up all over the place here because frigid weather was freaking miserable. At least I find it to be miserable. Some of you guys out there may enjoy it, but I certainly do not. All right, let's go ahead and I want to take care of our sponsors first, just because I want to make sure we do take care of them in case I do have to step away for a bit here and hand the reins over to TN and Max. First sponsor is Earth Garden Botanicals. All kind of amazing products here, guys, like the pine needle extract. That's the newest product. It's basically a concentrate version of the pine needle tea. Really great for a detox. I used it when I was starting to feel sick, and I really think it helped a lot a couple weeks ago, or whenever that was. Was that last week, the week before, when I was getting sick? So I highly recommend you guys get a bottle of that, keep it in the house. The CBD oils and hemp products are amazing as well. The CBD oils and the oil tinctures are all the ingredients are grown locally on small organic Montana farms, which is super cool because it gives Jolene, the owner of this company, the ability to make really great products at a really affordable price. The value here is unbelievable when you look at what you get for your money, and the flavors are great. There's a CBD oil for pets as well, Delta 8 R&R nighttime gummies to help you get a good night's sleep, and an arnica salve. An arnica salve to help with your sore joints and muscle pains. You can get that with or without CBD infused. There's elderberry tonic to help with your immune system if you feel a cold coming on, and fire cider to help clear your sinuses. Elderberry tonic to boost your immune system, fire cider to clear your sinuses. I'm sorry, guys. And then of course you have your teas. There's a bunch of different teas to choose from here. If you're a tea drinker, elderberry tea, sunshine and pine needle tea, serenity, golden potion tea. They all taste really good. They all serve slightly different functions and just really enjoyable. And then of course the critter juice, the all natural insect repellent to keep the mosquitoes and bugs away. I'll be finding a way to get some of that down south with me this weekend. All these products are 10% off using promo code 412 at checkout. So go take advantage, say hi to Jolene for us, and load up a cart. We also have our friends over at Diamond Soap Co. DiamondSoapCo.com. I love this company. They're as America first as it gets. Veteran and family owned and operated. Harold and Laura have been married over 30 years. They make their soaps and body butters handmade here in the United States using organic, all natural ingredients. And they've got a new product here. We find it. Where is it? Plumeria. They've got a Plumeria scented body butter, and they're testing, I think, a Plumeria scented soap as well. Plumeria and frankincense combo also, I believe, on the way eventually. And Tien, if I understand correctly, this was your idea?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I did the sampling of the Plumeria. For those who don't know, that's also known as frangipani, and it's the flower from Hawaii. You know, the one they make actual Hawaiian leis.
The little white ones?
Yeah.
Or sometimes pink or yellow. Yeah,
Yes,
like the little
exactly.
starburst. Oh, cool. Thank you. I just learned something.
But it has an amazing scent. And so I got a sample and I went around town, and it's mainly for the ladies. But when the frankincense is added to it, it changes more towards a male-oriented flavor. Sorry, a scent, obviously. But yeah. So yeah, I recommended that to Harold, and then Laura made up a batch, sent it to me. I tested it out. Everybody loved it. As a matter of fact, I happened to go to the doctor that day, and I asked the receptionist if she liked it, and she put it on. And when I walked out of the doctor, she says, "All the other nurses are asking, what am I wearing?" So they all put it on too. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. I love how this community is inspiring new products from our sponsors. I mean, Tien, you've inspired the pine needle tea extract. Now this scent, we had Lance Lightspear. He kind of inspired the frankincense and myrrh, and now when you combine the frankincense and the plumeria, you'll get a combo of these two community inspired products in one. So it's super neat. I love that. Guys, this is, like I said, this is America First Company. Promo code 412 gets you 17% off. Go vote with your dollar. Support that parallel economy. It's a great way to do it, because the competitors for soap are typically major manufacturers like Procter and Gamble or Johnson and Johnson. These major corporations that really don't have your best interest at mind. So support a mom and pop shop like Diamond Soap Co. or Earth Garden Botanicals instead. Promo code 412 for both of them. 10% off at Earth Garden, 17% off at Diamond Soap Co. So those are our two sponsors today. I want to start with a little something kind of fun before we get anything too serious. This was at Trump's speaking event, one of his rallies in New Hampshire, in Laconia, New Hampshire. There was like a little pause in the talking, and well, if you listen closely, you can hear someone in the
Yeah,
audience.
I heard it.
Yeah, someone in the audience scream a little something out, and we can watch Trump's reaction. So I'll see if you guys catch it. If not, we'll break it down a bit more, but I think you'll be able to hear it. You guys catch that? Someone in the audience screams, "Where we go one, we go all," and Trump just gives them this knowing smirk and head nod. I'll play it one more time so you could see it. But I love these little confirmations. Like if that right there isn't a little cue proof in itself, I don't know what is. One more time. Where we go one, we go all. Hey, come on! How cool is that? How cool is that?
It was a double whammy.
Yeah.
You know why, right?
Why?
Because listen to the background.
The music, yeah.
The music is "Where We Go One, We Go All."
Ah, I didn't pick up on that.
That's the song that he started up again since New Hampshire, playing when he does he's about to do the "We're a Nation in Decline," and that's the backdrop. So that person knew it. When I heard it, El and Max, forgive me, but when I heard it, it reminded me of the accident I had on my sister going to my sister-in-law's house, right? When I spun out type of thing, right? And the first guy that comes up to the car sees the bumper sticker or the sticker on the back of my car, which is the WWG1 WGA, and he says, "Oh, where we go one, we go all," and then on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he didn't ask what it was; he knew what it was right there.
That's so cool, Tian. I hadn't heard that part. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, that's great.
That's what that reminded me of.
Yeah, but I thought that was super cool, just the way Donald Trump reacted to that in the moment there. I thought that was a nice little head nod.
You're getting a request to play it again.
You want to see it again, guys?
Yeah.
We'll do it.
Tesla Dove wants to hear it again.
All right, one more time for the people in the back.
And you notice that the people in the audience also knew what he was saying.
A lot of them. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That hits me in the feels. Like every time I heard that live when it happened, like we were in the middle of a discussion, then I heard it and I like snapped up and I'm like, "Did you hear what that guy just said?" Yep. And anytime he plays that music, because we love our country and it's an emotional, like sad tragedy that we're, experiencing. I just get the MAGA chills, like the patriot feels for real.
It's like hearing the national anthem.
It is, except it's like that will always get me, always. But this is like our own. It's like ours, like it's our thing. And I'll never forget being the one and only rally that I've ever been to. We went to July 1st, so it was like a 4th of July thing. It was 100 million degrees out in the middle of the street, in the middle of the sun. And had seen as far as I could see. And I would later find out it was like 70,000 people behind me. And the sound system is so good at these events that you are completely surrounded by that anything it's playing, but that music and the emotion and the passion of the entire crowd behind me, and then like Trump's actually in front of me, like, oh man, I lost it. I lost it. It's an incredible time to be alive, and to have your faith in this guy who's not going to let you down. It's not a bad place to be.
Yeah.
You know, and it's interesting because the media tried to make a deal out of this song with the QAnon anthem and, you know, that kind of stuff, which everybody said, yeah, okay, we'll take it. I identify. But what's also interesting, he's doing it here, which is very interesting to me because he stopped using it or stopped doing it. But the first time he introduced it was in Wilkes-Barre, Ohio.
Ohio or not?
Yeah.
Wilkes, Pennsylvania. Wilkes-Barre's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Wilkes-Barre's in Pennsylvania.
But the first time
Ohio,
he used it
was in Ohio. The first time, if I remember correctly, was the first time he used it was Ohio. The reason I say that is significance, and I have to go back and look at my stuff. So the reason I say that is Ohio is the 17th state of the union.
Okay.
So that's why it's significant that he used it there. He did use it in PA, but I'll have to go back and check because you know how many decodes I do. But
yeah,
anyways,
yeah.
It's still impressive that he brings it out here now, and this is the second time he's used it, I believe, in New Hampshire.
Very cool. Yeah, I didn't catch on to the song aspect of it, but like I said, I was just more focused on the acknowledgement of the person and the way Trump reacted to it, because
and that's important too, because it shows that people recognize it. People recognize the beginning notes of the song, right? Which is important. And then Trump also, that little head bob wink kind of acknowledgement that he did, you know, because remember I remember a lot of people were poo-pooing this on our side of the equation, so to speak, not the lefties. They were poo-pooing this. And then Trump came back, and the last time I think he used it, if I remember correctly, was the last time he used it, he asked the audience, what do you want to do? Because when he does the A Nation in Decline, do you want to hear with or without the music? I chose the music, he said. And after that point, everybody was poo-pooing that it had to do with Q or anything like that. And he says, no, I chose the song. But some people say that I should do it without the music. And the audience, of course, wanted the music. So he does it with the music. So that's interesting, don't you think?
Very. Yeah, I missed all that. That's very.
So if he chose the song, he knows what that song was.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You know, I mean, he definitely knows what the song is.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's why the deniers, it cracked me up because I think I put a little video meme out of that saying, okay, the debate is over.
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right. I'm gonna bring up a quick story that I know will get TN and Max going a little bit here, and then I'm gonna go and try to make my stomach feel better, to say it as pleasantly as possible. This fight is not over. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton vows to defy Supreme Court ruling on razor wire at southern border. So Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton on Monday evening vowed to defy the Supreme Court's ruling on razor wire at the southern border. Blah, 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 5-4 vote, blah, 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 blah. Ken Paxton hit back and vowed to defend Texas's sovereignty. Quote, the Supreme Court's temporary order allows Biden to continue his illegal effort to aid the foreign invasion of America. The destruction of the Texas border barriers will not help enforce the law or keep American citizens safe. The fight is not over, and I look forward to defending our state sovereignty, Ken Paxton said. Governor Greg Abbott previously installed about 30 miles of razor wire at the Texas-Mexico border near New Eagle Pass to stop the flood of illegal aliens being let in by the Biden administration. In October, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed a lawsuit against the Biden regime regarding their cutting razor wire at the border. The lawsuit made its way to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals after a federal judge sided with Biden. The appeals court last month said agents could not cut the razor wire. On Monday, conservative justices, quote unquote, Justice Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett, sided with the liberals and granted the Biden regime's emergency request. So I don't know how they're going to defy the order unless they're planning on protecting the razor wire with, actual like militant force, and you're going to have some kind of standoff between federal government officials and Texas state officials. I'm all for it if it comes down to that. I don't fully understand what that means or how that'll play out, but Tien, you had mentioned that defying the Supreme Court order would be what you would do. So I'm sure that this at least piqued your interest if you saw this prior to me just reading that. So go ahead, guys, take it away. I'm gonna go and I'll
Take
be
care.
back. Yeah, I'll be back in a little bit.
Yeah, the when this one, we were talking about it yesterday, and it's kind of the opinion. Keep in mind that, and what I put out today was a question, basically saying, I put a social post out there saying that Abbott should basically not conform. And what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Right? He said,
Right.
I said, what's he going to do? Call the National Guard? Which National Guard? Right? What's he going to, he's going to call the military? Who? The generals? What are the rank and file going to do? Right? And he can't if he's following. And then Bongino today had a very interesting segment, which was all about this. And he had the statements from Paxton and so forth. But he was saying very much the same kind of concept, not identical words. And I'm not saying he listened to what I said or anything like that. What I'm saying is that everybody has the same thing. But then what he did is he put forth all the times that the Biden administration, if you can call it that, had gone against the opinion of the Supreme Court. And the media reports it as ruling. The Supreme Court does not rule on jack shit.
Right. They're under
They
opinion.
have an opinion on whether it's constitutional or not.
Mhm.
That's their sole role.
Right.
So Paxton can turn around and Abbott could turn around, and I would, if I were them, I would turn around and Paxton do whatever they're going to do, which I'm sure they had already talked about what would happen.
Sure.
They played this out. And I would turn around and if I were Abbott, I would immediately call for a declaration of invasion. Because under the articles of Article 4 of the Constitution, under Declaration of Invasion, the federal government is obligated to defend the sovereignty of the state.
So wait, I mean, how has he not done that yet, Abbott?
That's a good question. Very good
I
question.
thought that, I don't know why I thought that they did, but I guess
No.
somehow they haven't yet. That's
He
crazy.
did not formally file a declaration of invasion, which then forces the hand of the federal government. And that's what I'm thinking, maybe, because Paxton is not a dummy, neither
he's
is
not.
neither is the lieutenant governor, right?
Right.
So it'll be kind of interesting to see if they've gamed this out, right? Because these people are not stupid. Neither side is stupid, right? They
Right.
make stupid moves, but they're not stupid. So to go down this path, they had to game it out.
Oh,
Because
I'm
there's no way
sure.
they're going to be, we put out the National Guard to block the park. I didn't expect them to do that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. I want to go back and listen to Bongino. Do you know like what part of the show that was in today? Because the show's an hour, so it was like the first 15 minutes or second. I'd be interested in that. But I also want to keep in mind that I think a lot of people are hearing this and just assuming what the case was or what the actual complaint was that made it to the Supreme Court. They're thinking that, oh, the Supreme Court's siding with communists and saying that Texas can't defend its own border. Like that's not what was that wasn't the issue.
That's not the case. Correct. That's not the case.
Yeah, I think there's a tendency to, because we have an emotional attachment to the outcome that we want here, to hear that they didn't really rule in our favor, it's natural to maybe jump to, oh, so and so, who was it? Which one of them? And then we skip over like that. It was specifically about the razor wire, not the question. And I can't wait. And I'm kind of adding on to what your theory is here, that they've probably gamed this out. They've probably got their next move mapped out, and I'm hoping that there's something that's forceful. There's something that forces the government, like you just said, if that's all that is declaring an invasion, forces the federal government to do XYZ, and in this case, defend or secure or shut down the border. That would be great. That's what we want. And if this legally gives them the path to say, well, we tried it this way, they have to cross these boxes off. So often Trump does things like this too, where we know that we weren't going to win. And we wanted you to get the Supreme Court to make it an opinion that backs up the thing we want to do next. And that's kind of what I think this is. And above all else, what we really want is to get the issue, if it needs to go to the Supreme Court, the issue that the federal government's job, which was sort of just expressed in this opinion, that it's the federal government's job to do what they need to do at the border. And in this case, it's follow the laws that are existing about allowing illegal border crossing, which is essentially, it's the federal government's duty to keep the border secure. And now they can legally move forward in Texas and say, here's how you're not doing your job. And if you disagree, take us to court again.
Right.
So
Right.
I think that's what we're seeing. And I'm hoping, I can't wait to hear something that forces the federal government to either do what they're supposed to do, whether they like it or not, or give us a full display of how they're absolutely not going to do what they're supposed to do, even when the Supreme Court says they have to. Something like that. That would be in line with what we've seen in this exposure phase, this pause in between 45 and 47.
And because if Texas disobeys the opinion, or basically ignores the opinion, I shouldn't say disobeys, that's how the left will pitch it, disobeying the Supreme Court. And like I said, Bongino did a great job on that, because he just does article after article after article where they basically have done that. So it goes back to, what are they going to do? And the question that comes up now is this: will, like in the gaming theory or the gaming of this, will Abbott do a declaration of invasion, upping the stakes before the court hears it, or does the actual case that they have to hear? Because the wire is not the case. The case is about the federal government utilizing it, and basically, let me put it this way: what the federal government did, which shows you where this really actually stands and who the enemy is. The SCOTUS had to rule on, or rather provide an opinion on the wire at the moment, because that's what they were asking for, immediate relief. But understand that Biden administration went to the Supreme Court to allow illegal entrance to the United States. That's what the case is about.
Exactly.
The wire is secondary in this case. So now, no pun intended. So now the question in my mind is from a gaming perspective, is it more advantageous for Texas to file a declaration of invasion prior to or after the court renders an opinion on the case that sits before them right now? Because if they file afterwards, then the court now has to rehear a case regarding Article 4. And the Constitution is damn clear. There's no ambiguity.
That pesky Constitution, right? That pesky thing that keeps saving our asses.
Yeah, it's the response, and that's why when people say it's the responsibility of the federal government to protect our borders, that's the article. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be very, very interesting. And all of this is playing out within the context of this year, within 10 months. Huh. In less than 10 months from a calendar days perspective, because we're at the 23rd and the election's the 5th of November. Less than 10 months, shit hits the fan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna get even more intense. It's gonna be very, very interesting. Because here's the take. If it comes up as a secondary case, right? It's a standoff, no pun intended, but a Mexican standoff. And it goes to the Supreme Court for their October calendar.
That is interesting.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, Texas is very interesting. Very, very interesting how this is going to play out. And then that's the case, then it's going to be an aspect of Arizona, New Mexico, and California.
Right. Yeah, and I was also thinking that this opinion, the razor wire issue, which I think, in this instance, in the short term, this isn't the opinion that we want. This isn't, and we don't like it when the Biden admin doesn't follow the direction or the opinion of the Supreme Court, because that usually means that the Supreme Court's opinion is that it's whatever the thing isn't constitutional, and you're going to do it anyway. And I think we need some recourse sometimes when it goes, when they're continuing to flagrantly do things that are repugnant to the Constitution. Like we do need some kind of enforcement there. But at the same time, in this case, specifically about the razor wire issue, even though I don't know if you guys covered it on this show, I try to listen and lurk as much as I can, but they were saying things that, like, the federal government's argument is that Texas isn't letting us get to people that could have been rendered medical aid and they could have survived, but they didn't because we couldn't do it.
And that was a bullshit. They used the drowning of 3 illegals, and that's a bullshit because Bongino covered that one today too. It was bullshit story.
Yeah, they said
that's
we
true.
were going to do water rescue, and the state said you didn't even have a boat. And they were already dead, and they weren't even on our side yet. So these predicated on lies in the first place. It's just another example.
It's Roe v. Wade all over again.
Yeah, that's true. Except this time, it didn't take 70 years or whatever to.
No, I understand. But I'm saying that the premise of the case on Roe v. Wade was based on a lie.
Total fabrication, absolutely. So at least in this case, the lie was outed early, and then it didn't cloud the issue, I don't think, for the justices. Not enough to cause some sort of precedent that's harder to overturn over time. But I do think that it is saying it's kind of the states' rights versus federal rights, which is the heart of this issue. And I do think that the states' rights are being harmed by the federal government's,
usurping their power. That's what it is. Right.
And they're supposed to be enforcing their own laws, and they're not. And by Texas is damaged. All the states are damaged, and they all have standing to bring suit for this reason. And I think this is setting that up. But I also think that it does uphold things for us in the future that could mean the federal government does have jurisdiction to close the border, and it's their job to make sure that they enforce it, so that if Arizona tries to say, hey, Trump 2025, you can't close our border, it's ours, and we're going to let them through, this case right here, or at least this opinion, can go to, actually, you don't have the right to do that, and you do have to keep it closed. And, so in the long run, I do think the Constitution has saved our asses. So almost every day, probably every single day, there are things that they want to do in power, and there's things that they want to do to take our power away, to grow government, and to completely continue to damage and infringe on our rights as states, as sovereigns, as much as they possibly can through the federal government. And I literally I thank God for the founders, and then I thank the founders for things that they did, things that they could foresee, the genius of our founding guys and the work that they did. I could be on my knees in awe of their foresight, their the thing, it's really hard to put into words. Like, there were guys long dead now, but they were just as real, and time was just as now as you and me are in this moment that is still now. They
And
wrote these
our
things
age too.
in
And
our
our age.
age. Absolutely.
And younger, because most of the people see the elder paintings and portraits, but they weren't old when they did this.
No, they were not. They were, a lot were younger than me. I'm just in awe and beyond grateful. How do we? It just calls even more to the mission at hand. That how can you have that sense of appreciation for what has made my little life safe from being turned into crap because of my government, because of what they did? If you know that and you think about it and you get it, you are that much more driven to do everything in your power. All you have to do is show up at a meeting or get a position in your local government that just makes sure a little bit of tyranny doesn't spread a little bit in your neighborhood. I mean, there's no excuse. It lights the fire under my ass that all I need to do to honor what they've done and to show appreciation is to just use the rights that they have protected, use those rights and exercise them, and make it loud and clear that I still have those rights. It's the calling of our time, really. It's the mirror of that era. We're in it again. And almost every single thing that they were afraid would happen has happened and is going to get worse unless we strip it all away and get back to, I mean, call me, a constitutional anarchist, but I do kind of think that almost everything outside of that is the creation and the reason for the problems that we deal with now, the things that enable power to further grow and infringe on us and choke us and bleed our industry dry, and it all needs to go. And I think everybody gets it. Tian, don't you?
Yeah, that's why Daddy Dragon's catchphrase, if you will, that he says the Constitution is the solution. It's true. And the reason that they fear originalists so much, like Thomas, like Alito was, like Alito and like Scalia was, is for that reason. Because they can't tweak it, they can't nudge it, which is what they're doing through case law, etc., is nudging it, and that's why they revolted to some degree in the narrative with Roe v. Wade decision, because it wasn't about removing rights or anything like that. It wasn't a right to begin with.
No, it never was.
So,
yeah,
exactly. So, and for all the argument, not to make this all about Roe v. Wade, but for all the argument that the left dead on that, and all the so-called feminists and women and all of that, they sure had no problem with 9 men making the decision.
Right.
Because there was no women making the decision on Roe v. Wade.
That's a good point. That's a great point.
But on this particular one, I found, and there was a question about why does Abbott wait so long? I don't know. It's an aspect of, I don't know if it's the plan. I don't know. It could be that he's weighing the game, political game and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, but I can tell you one thing that is evident, that it just seems to be that when it happens, it was the proper time to do it.
Right.
And yeah, we could have prevented a lot of stuff, but you wouldn't have 90% of the country up in arms. You wouldn't have lefty mayors and lefty governors complaining about Texas sending them illegals, and then trying to pitch it as it's Texas's fault, and nobody buys it. Having the media trying to bending themselves into pretzels, trying to make this into about migrants and the people, and when you have Haley going out there saying, "Oh, they have a heart too," fuck that.
Yeah, but it only helps our case, and you're absolutely right. That I hate the saying, but it's like, oh, you can't tell the people, you have to show them.
I know,
and
but it's
I
true.
think I can't help but think, and here's where I'm going to branch out into a completely unproven conspiracy. You guys ready? Put your tinfoil hats on. I believe.
Time magazine. Sorry. I got one of those.
Hold that thought. Yeah, I want that next. I kind of have this feeling that there are things that if you look at, I have reason to believe this, that I have reason to suspect this, that there are things that are seeming really bad, that sound bad, that we're shown. This is, we're watching some kind of a demonstration period. This whole thing has been an exposure, disclosure. This is what you get with Democrat policies and a stolen election. And this is what you get when communist control is a part of American life, this whole period. But I think that there are things, take the Chinese spy balloon, for example. I don't believe for 1 second that the Joe Biden administration had any idea what was going on, could do anything to stop it, could do anything about it. And it's too stupid to be stupid. It's almost like a floating red pill to say, and then they called in Trump's former admin to brief them or debrief them or something. Like, that's never been done. It's just a perfect example of who's really in control here, especially when it comes to military stuff and national essential functions. Now, I believe the border is another one of those things. And I don't think that if you can say out of one side of your mouth that patriots have some kind of plan and have some level of control here, you can't also say that they're just going to let everything horrible that you could possibly imagine come to pass. Like, the American people need to be shown that this administration will let these illegals in and bad shit's going to happen, and it do so by the millions and millions. But maybe behind the scenes that we don't see are in the middle of the night undercover deportation operations going on right now that are not reported on. Like, they're not going to like tell on it. You know, they don't want to out the fact that there were 30,000 illegals that were in this town because they are saying that there aren't that many. And then all of a sudden, you know, what can they do about it? If there are good guys doing things that are, I just have this feeling if they're not being deported, they are being watched and being tracked, and they're given phones and they're given wristbands and they're given debit cards. Like, there's no way with the level of surveillance that you and I already know that we are under, that there's just no idea who anyone is, that, you know, all of the things
100%.
that it's sort of like we
They
can
may
count
turn a
on the
blind eye, but they know.
right, and we can count on the right-wing alt media to kind of awfulize and fear porn about this stuff, because it's sort of what the right-wing media does, at least the conning side of things. Look how bad everything is, so that you can, you know, it's sort of, if there is a master control here, allow the talking heads in the media and the new alternative media to kind of, in all of its forms and all this decentralization, allow it to do what it does best and make this seem outrage porn, like make it seem as bad as it possibly can. And then in the background, they're also making sure, like, true terrorists, like really bad people on those lists, that are not really getting away with just going throughout the country and being wherever they want to be. I don't believe for a second that it's completely unchecked, that it's completely anarchy. I just don't think that any patriots in control would just leave the national security, like, walk away from their duty in that sense, knowing what the Biden admin had planned. And the other thing that I think that is a really similar example, because we can't, this is another thing that we can't see with our eyes. We can see a lot of the problem, but we can't see all of it. We aren't everywhere all at once, like the eye of the government or the military or others is. Same thing with the strategic petroleum reserves, for example. I don't think for 1 second that Biden actually emptied them and that he had the authority to do that, but I think that it's important that we think he did, right? Because now we're about to go into war with a military that's supposedly understaffed and, you know, and supposedly woke and all these things. I think it's a show. Call me crazy. I think that things are bad, but I also think that there are backstops. And I think TN probably agrees with that. What do you think, TN? Am I barking up the wrong tree here, or is there definitely no way that they just completely abdicated all their duties to keep people safe in every single, same thing with financial? What do you think?
No, excuse me. I agree. I don't think that there's undercover deportations going on. Maybe some key individuals.
Wouldn't it be nice to think that there might be, though?
Yeah. But I think with all the eyes that are out there now, the media, I mean, you have people catching the airplanes flying illegals from left and right in the middle of the night. You know, not the media, it's junk you public and stuff like that. Uh, you have excellent reporting from individuals all over the place. I mean, remember when Sarah Carter and John Solomon were the it, and now there's 100 of them, right? That kind of deal. So, but that's the only point that I'll make is I don't think it's actually happening on the shipping them out. I think the aspect of providing them with the utilities to track themselves, because think about this. The minute you use a debit card, where are you going to use it? At an ATM or a shop or something like that, you're immediately captured on video. You immediately have facial recognition on you. There's nowhere you're going to be able to hide as an illegal thereafter.
That's right. And they're all put on these flights, and we don't know what kind of devices may be put in their bags or on their body. We don't. I mean, we don't see this.
It could be tagging, let's say, just for argument's sakes. But all you have to do is give these people something that, like I said, like you were saying, the phone that they get, the debit card that they get, and then they get to renew their debit card. Those have RFID chips. The phone have markers, etc., etc. They by those two devices alone, they're already tagged. They don't need to be physically, so to speak, a GPS subdural.
Right. And actually, I just remembered, I don't know if it was Iowa or New Hampshire, but sometime in the last week, Trump even made, his beautiful asides where he tells the truth and then goes back to his speech. He said, we know where they all are, blah, 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 blah. He went on. He said, there's all these people and we don't have any idea who was coming in, but we know where they all are. And then he went to the next point. And I was like, see, I knew they know. They know.
Right. Well, and it's also the aspect of saying Biden's admin is kind of helping in a way. I'm not saying that they're helping from a proactive perspective, from the stupidity, if you will. And that is, they're sending them in concentrations. So if you look at it, these particular cities like New York and so forth are automatically concentration camps. I don't mean the old Auschwitz type analogy here, but they congregate. Okay, let's call them congregation camps. Because the people have no choice. If the majority of them don't speak English, they don't know how to, they're going to navigate and gravitate to individuals that will help them. And therefore they're going to congregate. I can tell you, if you go to St. Louis, anybody is near St. Louis or go to St. Louis, ride a cab in St. Louis. Every single cab driver that is in St. Louis is from Eastern Africa. Every single one.
That's interesting. Yeah, I also saw
it's because this is not it's not a racist type of thing or any xenophobic statement. It's an aspect of the natural tendency of individuals to go where they're going to have the support structure that they need for their purpose. And so they're going to go to people that speak their language, understand their culture, have their food, yada, 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 yada. What comes next? Money. Well, how are you going to get the money? You got to get a job. What are you going to do? You're going to get the job that allows you to have the entry point to your level. If you're uneducated, but you can drive, what are you going to be? A taxi driver or an Uber driver or anything like that. Right?
Absolutely.
It's natural. It's not anything derogatory. It's natural.
I also hope that I have a feeling that there are undercover good guys embedded into infiltrating these human trafficking operations and the cartels, both, all of what the cartels are doing. I wouldn't believe for a second that we don't have guys in there. There's just no way.
No, yeah, you're right.
So
right. There's
the sting has been
set. There's informants and undercover agents, and probably with all the cartels, maybe not as high up, simply because of the vetting that they do, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I'm sure it's not easy, but I have faith in our guys. I just do. I have faith that there are good people that we may never find out, no matter who's president, what they've been up to and what they've been able to bring down because of OPSEC. We just won't know. but I just don't believe that everything, just given the nature of this, the way this whole 4 years and even, 2016 through 20, given what we have observed, that a lot of this is show and then find out later and then seems worse than it was, but it was, we ended up being protected. Like, it just seems to fall within the pattern of reality that things are a little bit exaggerated on the internet, especially on Twitter, and the algorithms are manipulated to show us what we want to see or what other people like us are talking about. So we're probably seeing a lot more border things. I mean, I am not for 1 second diminishing how bad it really is. We need to see it get as bad as it actually can get. But at the same time, I just have a little bit of faith that there's something that is, if they are planning, let's say, an attack, that's the kind of thing that I feel like they're not going to let it fully happen all the way, I just don't. But that's me. Or if they do, it's like the bad guys are caught between a rock and a hard place when it comes to an event of an event, false flag or otherwise. They can't, if there's a real terror threat, they can't say, okay, we actually accidentally purposefully let a bunch of illegals into our country. Oh, and they're planning this thing. Oh, and we're the FBI and we thwarted it. Because then they're exposed as it's your fault that there are terrorists in our country. You're enabling them to mount attacks on your citizens. So they don't want to let that go, but they do want the threat of terror to be there. So they're kind of allowing that to be seated. But at the same time, I don't think that they have enough real power or enough real control to prevent good guys from actually thwarting terror attacks. But then they do control the media and we won't hear about it. So there's just so much going on that, I don't know, it really just comes down to a person's disposition. If you're a glass half empty person, there's so much bad stuff that you could choose to just make your entire outlook to be all about. And you can doom and black pill and be super outraged to the point where they're sucking your energy dry and you're not going to get involved because that's just too big and too evil and too massive for you to do anything to stop. And boy, is that helping the other guys win. Or you look at it like a little bit of confidence that you have. It's sort of, to me, life has always been a question of faith. Like, God will show you the path and you may not be able to see that there's, like, it reminds me of the Indiana Jones where he's going for the Holy Grail and he takes a step and it's invisible and he steps and there's solid, God catches your foot there, this invisible step of faith. So much of what we're going through right now, I think, mirrors those spiritual, biblical, mystery of faith topics where sometimes you have to proceed as if, and then you'll find out later. But if you're positive and you believe in all this stuff that we're talking about today, you're on the side of good, you almost can't help it but take that leap of faith into the unknown to defend democracy, defend our democratic right to choose our own leaders, to have our own voice heard, to defend our rights, all these things that they're trying to take away from us. Sometimes you just act as if, and sometimes there's somebody backing you up and sometimes there isn't. But if you don't fight, they've already won, right? I hope that made sense. Right. I hope I'm not rambling too much.
No, it's true. There was a request, shifting gears a little bit. There's a request to play the leaked, well, I shouldn't say the disclosed, because it's not leaked, the disclosed audio recording of Carrie Lake being bribed.
Names were supposed to be Jet, Turbo, and Rebel.
What?
I could have been Turbo. I told.
What the?
I wrote it down.
That's on you. That's not my end.
I don't know where that's coming from.
Their names were supposed to be.
Hold on a second. It might be from my end. So sorry. Let me.
Okay.
Go on mute.
Okay, so you muted and it went away. Let me see. Does somebody have a link to what we want to? Is there something that we should play? Dang, I pray. Yeah. Kind words out there. Thank you all for your prayers for Adel. He just said that he ate something and he just wanted to feel a little better. So not the best. It's all his coworkers' fault.
I so hate YouTube. Sorry.
It's very, very long. You guys are holding the show together so well. Thank you, Star Drops. Thumper Rose is also helping us out there. And Trick Pony, what's up? Nancer, I'm seeing all of you lovely people in the chat. Filter Dog, what's up? Filter Dog 1. There
Okay, I'm ready.
are. I also somehow missed that. Apparently, do you have the audio?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I apparently missed that Cat Turd was on with Tucker. Is that true?
Yeah.
In person? Or
no,
just
I
as
haven't
an
watched it
avatar?
yet.
All right, well, we got to check that out after this show because that sounds fascinating. Go ahead, Tian, take it away.
Okay, here we go.
So what's going on? What is? I'm assuming this is our friend.
This is back east. There are very powerful people who want to keep you out.
I know they do.
But they're willing to put their money where their mouth is in a big way. So, this conversation never happened.
This is crazy, though. They should want me. I'm a great candidate. People love me. These people are corrupt.
Well, maybe you're right.
They are right. They are corrupt.
Maybe. This never happened. Don't go. Do me a favor, though. I don't get myself in trouble. This, if you say no, which is fine, it's your choice. Don't tell people.
They're gonna try to have me murdered.
Not either. Today's world, man. If that stuff that came out last week is right about the cartel stuff, man. They said the cartel's operating in 50 states right now, like all 50. You know? So
what's going on? Who is it? What?
Forget the who. Let me just tell you the what. Let's just say there are people calling around saying, gosh, no, they can't repeat this. Never repeat this. If you say no, don't. If you say, I got offered to buy out. Don't use it. Because then we lose our ability to get things done in the future.
Here's my problem. Rather than just say, let's work with her, she's a great candidate. Because they don't own me. And it pisses me off.
Yeah, I don't know it's about ownership.
It's about control.
I don't know it's about control. It's about being on the team. I guess that's, you know what I mean?
They want to be on the team.
They want you to be on their team.
But
just team. You know?
But if they're pushing a globalist agenda, I can't do that. So what do they want? What do they want me to do?
You want me to stay out for 2 years. What? I'll tell you what I can offer you. But, I said you can do whatever you want. It's a talking head, isn't it? So the ask of me was, it's kind of funny. So the ask I got today from back east was, here's the between us. Is there any companies out there or something that could just put her on the payroll and to keep her out? And I said, well, what are you willing to do? Like, whatever we need to do.
This is about defeating Trump. And I think that's a bad, bad thing for our country. DeSantis is not America First. This is about the final death blow to Trump. And I don't think that's good for our country.
And you know I love Trump. I love Trump.
It's not good for our country, Jeff.
It's not. But at the same time, I'm not even sure Trump can win again. I don't know that he can win again. I think what it really comes down to for a lot of people, it's not really about like control or agenda. It's just about the ability to raise money to win. You know, if you really want to know, all of politics boils down to money. I think. That was really good. And even on their end, like what makes them the most money?
I know. All these consultants don't want their payday to end. And I don't want to make a deal with these kind of people. This is a hill worth dying on. I'm not, if they're going to steal the election to make me and our movement go away, I'm not letting them do that. I owe it to the people of Arizona.
Or
to carry their torch and their voice.
Or you don't go away, but you pause.
This is the battles right now, Jeff.
You pause, and then you fill your coffers.
No, the battle is right now. The battle is right now, and we don't have time to pause on this battlefield.
You're not. You can't scratch their back. It's not afraid of you.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to offer them, and they're sitting around people that have stuff to offer them. You know what I mean? It's just it's a back scratching club. That's all DC is. It's a big back scratching club. you're in no position to scratch anybody's back, and you've already made it known that if you get there, you're not going to scratch anybody's back. I don't scratch people's back. You know, I've been on the outs for a lot of people for a long time because I don't scratch backs. You know, where are we in 2 years if they steal the election again?
Listen to what you're saying. Why don't we do something about it? So that we the people can pick our...
What can we do?
I'm not willing to accept that. And I'm going to be the biggest pain in these people's... Go back and tell them that. I'm running, and I'm going to be the biggest pain in their...
And I'm willing to tell them that.
And they're going to have to kill me to stop me.
No, I know. Look. And
you don't have to tell them that, but I don't think they will, but...
Nah, I don't think that's the way they are.
Either they come around and try to work with me, or I'm just going to...
entail?
That would entail not
telling...
layman's telling me, you got to distance yourself from Trump. No, you distance yourself from DeSantis.
He's all butthurt about that.
But what I'm saying is, don't tell people that. I'm with Trump, okay? I want to work for the betterment of Arizona. I'm not going to let these people back in D.C. tell me not to run.
I'm telling you not to run.
I'm not going to pause for 2 years. The battle is now.
Can you pause it for 1 second? I just
they're trying to buy me out.
This is the chairman of the Arizona GOP.
I'm offended that there's people back there who just don't get about our country.
Do you understand though? You should be honored. That means they know how powerful you are.
Well, I can tell them that.
If you weren't powerful, they wouldn't want to have this conversation.
Yeah.
Right? You should be. Very few people get this.
I know. I'm pissed that they don't care more about our country. It's all about the mighty dollar to them, and that's offensive.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
They want to get Trump so bad. They want him out so bad.
It's not about Trump. This isn't about Trump. It's about you. It's not about Trump. It's about you. It's not about Trump. Some people that are in on this. I know.
Listen, I can win. Why don't you go back and tell them that I can win, and why don't they get behind me?
I see these things through a different lens. It's very personal to you. This was you.
Okay, I paused it because we're halfway through, roughly. There's about 4 minutes left. And just, do you want to play, I'm asking chat here, do you want to play the rest of it or do you want to go on? Because I think we got the gist of it. And I'll be happy to put the link to the article that contains the audio clip in it. It's from the Daily Mail, as you guys saw. If you saw when I was having it up there. But so give me, Adel's not back. So it's Max. What do you think? Want to play the rest of it?
Let's let chat weigh in really quick. I was just looking who this guy is. I did a face search on him while you were playing it. So he was chairman. He was the state treasurer of Arizona in 2015. He resigned from NASA in February 2020 and joined Trump's 2020 campaign later that year. That's interesting. Wow, this is bombshell, you guys. What do you think? Should we play maybe there's something else he says? Because you can tell he's like changing tactics from like, look, we're buddies. Like, it's okay. It's okay. You can do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do. And he's defending the people who are making the offer. And then he's saying some things that sound like he's starting to push on her more. I am a little bit curious to see how far this goes. Play on. What's chat saying? Move on. Play it.
Yeah, it's about 50-50 right now.
Can you play it on a faster speed?
Let me check.
What's that? Yeah, maybe if we could play it at double or.
No.
No.
No, okay. This is an embed to the article. All I could do is change the quality, which obviously is they're stills.
Okay, so I'm seeing more play. It's more play on, play more. Let's play it and just kind of click through.
I'll put the link out there anyways, but it just, anyways, we spend more time talking about whether we should play it or not than playing. So I'll let go the next 4 minutes.
Okay, and if it sounds repetitive, maybe scrub through, click ahead a little bit if you want.
Yeah, okay.
It was your name on the ballot, and I get that. And it's a very personal thing.
Well, I have a appointment coming up, and I have to work on my book.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not good. I appreciate their concern.
Just to say, is there a number at which
I can be bought.
Not be bought.
That's what it's about.
You can take a pause for a couple years.
No.
And then go right back to what you're doing.
No. 10 million, 20 million, 30, no. A billion, no. This is not about money. This is about our country. I think it's disturbing that they would even, that anybody would think this is.
No, to be fair, even me, I'll say this. I want a fresh face right now for the reason that I've never seen anyone, I can't think of a single person in a federal race who's lost, ran in and won. I can't think of it. If you can think of it, let me know.
I am not going to let these people who hate our country tell me not to run. You should call them and tell them to get behind me.
Yeah.
They should get behind me.
I will happily say those words.
Yeah.
Do you think my words will carry any weight? No.
Okay, well, did you think you would come in here and that I would be bought?
It's not being bought.
Yes, it is.
I think.
It is being bought. No. They are trying to buy me out of running. It's actually, I mean, all right, I'm flattered. I'm offended. I'm offended for our country. We have people like this who live here.
What I think is this. Is it can give you an incredible opportunity to have a bigger voice to fight for stuff than you currently do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't want to deal with people like this. These people are un-American, and I think they're unethical, and I would be absolutely immoral if I did that.
Again.
That's immoral. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror if I, you know.
It's very powerful people that are willing to, they really want someone different. They want new names, whatever it is.
So they want Jim Lehman, that's a new name?
No, actually, that's not even, that's a possibility, but they're even asking me like.
I know, they've got all these new names, and I'm going to beat each and every one of them. Sorry, Jeff, take it back to them.
Oh.
I gotta get working.
I know you
I love you, but I gotta get working.
All right, I appreciate it.
I'm just, can't believe this.
Hey, again, be honored.
Oh, be honored. Oh my God.
Instead of just them working to beat you, they're trying to, like...
This is about getting Trump out.
Nah, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Trump never came out once.
Well, it's about DeSantis, getting DeSantis in. Getting DeSantis is getting Trump out.
You're reading too deep into it.
Well, let's see what happens. Maybe my case will go through. Maybe they'll do the right thing.
I hope so.
I do too. That's my first goal.
Yeah.
But they can't have me in the governor's office because then we're going to root out some of this corruption.
But again, it's like...
You know what it is? The people don't get to choose their elected officials unless they're pre-approved by the swamp. And the swamp doesn't pre-approve of me.
You need a strong party to help.
I think you should go public with this and then say, hey,
no.
These people don't want to, they don't want,
And then I turn my key in my car and I just...
I know.
I like my car.
Tell them I'm not flattered. I'm offended that
Don't tell anybody we had this conversation.
I'm offended that they don't care about our country more.
I actually wish you'd just give me a counter offer that's big.
God, this dude.
I can't be bought.
Come on.
I can't.
All right, I'll see.
Okay, bye-bye.
Jeez. Wow, you guys, this is amazing. It's so good. Holy crap. Okay, so according to the article,
Here, I'll put the article out there.
yeah, this
a couple
is
of
the
things.
chair of the GOP, Arizona GOP chair. Yeah.
Oh shoot. Sorry, the link is too long for I'm gonna have to shrink it. Hold on, guys. The link is too long for Pilled. Don't ask me why.
I will post it on Twitter and then share the link to the tweet.
Okay.
This is crazy, you guys.
It's not even a YouTube, it's embedded in their article. So let me see. I can share the video. Let me sorry. They only let you share it to platforms. They don't let you share the link. Fucking pain in the ass. I don't understand why this is even.
Okay, I just tweeted the article on Rise Attire's Twitter, and that is a shorter link. So I was able to quickly launder that long link through Twitter. So damn, that was some beautiful confirmation right there of every single tactic that we all know that they use, but it's just
It's twofold, right?
Yeah.
The guy was pushing really hard, and the one thing that we could tell that is it was coming from DeSantis camp. Now, I'm not putting the onus on DeSantis. I don't know. We can't say that. It's the people that were backing him for sure. So now you put into context people like Bill Mitchell and that ilk, right? With his diatribes.
He did say very powerful. I don't think Bill Mitchell's that powerful.
No, but no. No,
sorry if I misunderstood you.
Yeah, it's that ilk is what I'm referring to. Bill Mitchell, I'm not saying he himself is that powerful. He's running with that crowd.
Right. He's the mouthpiece for those people.
Representative of that crowd, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so again, so here we have her. There's that. There's the other aspect of this guy pushing very hard because he was really leading into her, and obviously at the end realizes that it's a no-go because he says, I wish, because he doesn't want to give back that answer. He says, I wish you give me a number that they will refuse, so to speak, is what he was trying to say at the end, right?
Right.
And the other thing that which goes to show you the kind of like the weasel that this guy is, because he was trying to sell the point of taking a pause. In essence, get out of the race. And then he says, well, no, they're not trying to buy you. And he says, well, that's exactly what they were trying to do. And she was pointing that out. The other thing that it shows to me is the major backbone that Carrie Lake has.
Yeah. Yep.
That she's not.
I think she knew she was being recorded, to be fair, but at the same time.
Well, but who's recording it?
That's
It can't
true.
be him. It can't be him.
No, I think she was wearing a wire or something.
Right, exactly. Because he even said, don't let this conversation get out.
Yeah. So I think she knows that she's being recorded, but I think she would have said the same exact thing if it wasn't.
This was open in a room. It wasn't a wire.
No, really?
Yeah. I think because if you listen to the background and the echo and of the room, this was a room. They were in a room, and then he starts walking away, and he's still talking to her as he's walking away. So it's like she was almost like sitting at a desk or something like that. It's my opinion, because my impression is because she says, I got to get back to work. I got to get to writing on my book. So it kind of gives me the indication that she was sitting down at some form of desk or some form of credenza type of thing. And he comes in to talk to her. So anyways, which is pretty interesting because somebody had the foresight to record it.
Yeah. Yep.
Either she's recording everything that she's doing, which is possible, or somebody had the foresight that this guy's coming and he's not good. He's coming for a reason. Let's record him, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting to me. And there's a lot to be said about this. But guys, this is in no way of support of DeSantis, but we have to be very careful of pointing the finger towards the man, which we don't know, because there's people, there are anti-Trumpers, and then that's why I brought up the Bill Mitchell. If you look at his tweets and so forth, the guy's disgusting.
Yeah. Oh my God, I know. And I don't remember who said it in chat, but whoever said it is, you're right. He does look like an aging lesbian. He is disgusting.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're absolutely right, Tian. The tactics that you're listening to this guy try to put all of the, you could do whatever you want and don't repeat this, or, just make a counter offer. Just relentless. Right. And then trying to ingratiate himself like, oh, I don't think it's that. Oh, I don't think they don't really want to keep you out. It's just a pause. He's playing good cop and down to the last minute.
He's trying to sell it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Correct. And due diligence says she could have recorded it on her phone. Oh yeah, absolutely. No quarrel. I'm just saying that the concept of covertly wearing a wire. That's all I was saying. The aspect of, it wouldn't take much for her to be sitting there looking like she's doing her phone, tweets or whatever, and then presses the record button and lays it down. You know, that's pretty easy. Because this, if we notice that the audio starts in kind of like already the conversation's going on. So
Yeah,
it's not like, but I don't know how much of the audio that we
that's
played
true.
had been clipped or edited from the article point of view. I don't know, but it started in the middle. It started when the conversation was already going. So it's quite possible that she herself saw where this was going and she recorded it. Because notice that she did say that they're going to have me killed or they can kill me. Did you
Sure.
know that they actually? She actually said that there was an attempt on her daughter's life, that her car, the tires on her car blew out the same way that happened on some other assassination.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep. In Georgia, I
uh,
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
Yeah, I've always been
gotta
really
give her
worried.
credit for the cojones, man.
Yeah, I've always been worried, especially just the cartel aspect of the government cartel cooperation
Oh
in
yeah.
Arizona, and that she's directly taking them on. And I also, again, this kind of goes back to the whole faith question that I was saying earlier. I don't think that Carrie Lake is stupid, and I don't think that she's courageous and foolish. I think that she would never do some of the things that she's doing and saying and keeping on the way she's keeping on if she wasn't protected, if she wasn't insulated in some way, more so than just her against the freaking cartels. Like, I don't think for a minute that she doesn't have, call it white hat, call it good guy, whatever you want to call it. I think she knows she's safe. And that perhaps her candidacy in this will be revealed as another Sting type thing someday. That who attacks her, look at who goes to stop her, look at who tries to stop her, track all of that, and then you know where the seats of power are locally and in Washington that pulls the strings of that, and it maps out the criminal enterprise just that much more. And you have somebody truly unshakable, unbuyable. She is absolutely patriot fire. And I feel sorry for everybody who made an enemy of Carrie Lake.
Yep.
And all of us now, because we all heard about it. So I'm wondering, who got this? How did it get out? Who did she give it to? Somebody? Is this part of a case? Like, did she need to drop this to get herself more protection? Like, I don't know what. I'm very interested to find out how. And I do remember Sweet Ice Tea saying that she told the story at CPAC, and then I just saw a Mediaite article, claiming that she's lying, that she's making it all up, spinning these narratives and false claims of bribery. Well, bitch, read them receipts and weep,
Right. There's the
It's so
audio.
great.
I find the timing pretty interesting too.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? So this article comes out today, right?
Yeah.
And who quit yesterday?
Yesterday? Who was it yesterday?
Who suspended their campaign yesterday?
Well, I know it wasn't DeSantis. That was Sunday.
Okay, Sunday.
Okay.
Today's
DeSantis.
Tuesday.
Okay.
So, okay,
Yeah,
Sunday.
DeSantis.
I find the timing quite interesting.
It is interesting. It's very interesting, you guys.
Of course, the recording happened a while back because this is about her governor campaign, right? But still, the timing of the article, the timing of the release, because you think that the Daily Mail sat on this audio?
No. Well, I don't know. Maybe. I kind of feel like my gut tells me that they were just given it, but maybe. And I wonder why the Daily Mail of all places. It's very interesting. It's very, and maybe it's related to DeSantis in some way.
Oh no, his campaign. I'm not, and it may not be his campaign at all. It may not be him, his campaign, or anybody. It could be, but I don't know. I don't want to jump to that conclusion. What we can say, it's the money that was backing him.
Yeah, and I think back east is probably Washington. I don't think it's
yeah.
It's not anywhere else. It's Washington. Yeah, I wonder, does anyone remember when she told this story at CPAC? I remember her talking about it kind of in detail, and I had no reason not to believe her then. Was it after they stole it from her or before? I think that was after, right? CPAC was after, because wasn't that the CPAC that was the first time we saw Trump since he was out of office? I don't remember now. If anyone in the chat remembers, were
When
they
she was
trying to
talking
bribe
about
her
being
to
bribed, yeah, right.
was she explaining they were trying to bribe her to let her loss go and go away, or to drop out before
No,
the
she
election?
said they try to bribe me not to run.
Run for, not for Senate,
Governor.
like she's running
For
now,
governor.
for
For
governor.
governor.
Okay. So it was before they stole it from her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that, because they could be doing more against trying to stop her from running now, and her lawsuits. And
Yeah.
this is a perfect example of it. Boy, does it feel good to be right, but it's awful that we're right at the same time. And it sure proves to a lot of naysayers and fake news, people out there on Twitter, that we know what we're talking about when we're talking about the swamp and how things work, and how people really are against anybody that's America first. And I love that she just said DeSantis is not America first. Like, she had it on
Right.
record to bring that up, because I think she had a feeling who it was coming from, and she brought up DeSantis more,
Right.
and
He didn't deny
so,
it.
yeah, and he did keep saying it's not about Trump. It's not about Trump. Well, it probably is, and if either way, it all comes back to Trump. It all comes back
Well,
to
it was
stopping him.
because Trump couldn't have let's put it into context. If Kerry Lake would have been governor of Arizona, Trump would have had 2 supporters, border states, Arizona and Texas. Well, no matter what you say about Abbott,
Right.
he's not fighting Trump. And you have Paxton, and you have the lieutenant governor of Arizona that are also pretty Trump's, not necessarily Trump supporters. I don't mean to make that they are acolytes as much as they have the same viewpoint on the country. So you would have Arizona and Texas. New Mexico and California are the only 2 other states that are left.
Right.
And the New Mexico governor was already and became hot water as of late, right? First on the Second Amendment issue, then on other issues that predominantly the Second Amendment one. So, I think they saw the handwriting on the wall, if all pun intended, if Kerry Lake would have become governor.
Exactly. They cannot have her there. They just can't. It's yes,
The
Delia,
interesting thing is that
CPAC
she's
was
bringing up the interesting thing is that she's bringing up from DeSantis, so that confuses me, because if this is the governorship, DeSantis wasn't around.
that's
So
true.
I just thought of that. It's like, okay, so now I'm trying to put it into a timeline, right? When was
me
this
too.
recording?
That's what I was just thinking. And yes, we're not saying, like, we're talking about the CPAC that she was talking about, the bribery happening long after they had stolen it. But
Yes.
this recording, just to clarify for those in chat, we know that CPAC was the 2023 CPAC, but the election was 2022. So earlier in 22 or 21 was when this was recorded, right, Tian? That seems to make sense.
Yeah, I think so. It's just the references. I'm going to have to listen to it again to kind of try to put a timeline in my mind, because they kind of hop around a bit. Not to say that they're mentioning dates or anything like that. It's the point of reference as to what they're talking about, right? And the fact that she brings up DeSantis would then put it into the current campaign, because DeSantis wasn't running in 2020 for president.
Right. Yeah. I'm
Now,
just
unless there was movement already and that she was hip to it, I don't know.
I was just looking to see if any of these articles clarify, because we haven't read any of them really. But Gateway Pundit is, of course, covering it. Arizona GOP chair Rhino Jeff DeWitt attempted to bribe Kerry Lake.
Yeah. Patriot 714 says it's about the Senate race, not the governor race. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. again, the context of the conversation to me implied the gubernatorial race.
Right.
Back
And
then.
I think I remember her CPAC statements lining up with that even before they stole it, that I believed her. And I remember, I don't want to say conclusively, but it doesn't either way. I'm like, what are the big picture takeaways? That the rhinos in Arizona are corrupt AF, and this proves it. And I think that there's going to be some criminal investigations that this can help us out with. This can help a lot of this. Definitely backs up Carrie Lake's claims about so many things, and her character above all. This really is her character, and there is this. I would keep an eye on the DeSantis connection because of the timing. I think the timing is more, could have had something to do with, like, why didn't DeSantis wait until Monday or today to drop out? Maybe, he was gonna have to drop out before New Hampshire, I guess. But anyway, the guy, Jeff, what's his name? Jeff DeWitt has claimed to be on Team DeSantis, not like as an employee, but he says he's off the Trump train. I'm DeSantis in a recorded phone call. So that is an interesting connection there. But again, don't repeat this. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody, guys. This is crazy. This is the chair of the Arizona Republican Party. This is emblematic of the problems that we're seeing elsewhere. And if any, I hope other future Carrie Lakes are taking notes on everything. And I'm sure they are. And I'm sure that we are in the very peaking dawn of the rising sun of the next era in politics, where imagine their fear of one Carrie Lake, and now imagine their fear of them in every county or in every state or in every state legislature, or it's only just beginning. And it's people like Carrie Lake who are blazing the trail for real people like her and like us to take our country back at great risk to personal safety. This is an absolute bombshell, probably one of the biggest. I mean, this year could not be off to a better start. And this is exactly the kind of audio I was hoping to hear more of, because we know these conversations are happening. We know it. They had the wrong one with Carrie Lake. They really thought that they could try this even, and that they would go unchecked for doing so. This is just amazing.
It's kind of interesting because and there is a pretty decent risk to her life and her family, because these people go out to, okay, you can't be bought, right?
Yeah.
Threats come next, right?
Yeah.
The and there was a couple of interesting things, because all of a sudden even though it just that George Soros tweeting the Atlantic article just kicked into my head, and everybody thinks it's about Trump.
Sorry, which article?
There was an Atlantic article about the financial system, right? But
with the 50s, with the 47.
With the $47, which two of them are silver notes. They're silver certificates. The dollar bills are silver certificates. They're not.
Two of them are, yes.
Right. They're not
all of them.
Federal Reserve notes. So, and people are saying Soros, but Soros, he just tweeted the article. The article has the photo. It's the card that's associated to the article. The same thing happened when Trump truthed him with the baseball bat, and the article was about Alvin Bragg, remember? And the media was trying to make it all about Trump truthing, doing the social media, beating Alvin Bragg and whatever, right? That kind of thing. But all of a sudden, this came to mind. Why is that? Why is that it comes to mind? Okay. The first time Carrie Lake was on a rally, the Trump rally, remember when she was wearing that kind of like gray flannel poncho, and I forgot it was somewhere in Pima County. I was
Yeah.
out in the field. I forgot the venue, but um, she says this is when she was running for governor. Let's go 48. Why does she say that? Because Arizona is the 48th state of the union.
Hmm.
So why is that key here? Well, the $47, everybody's thinking POTUS 47, and I don't dispute that. But the 47th state of the union is New Mexico, and New Mexico and Arizona were put into the union in the same year, 39 days apart from each other. One of them on February 14th, one of them on January 6th, New Mexico, the 47th state, and the other one February 14th, Arizona of 1912, the only two states in 1912.
Interesting.
So Soros's post,
Yes.
right?
Could be
If you
that.
can attribute it to a threat to Trump, which I can't say you can't think it that way, but was it in light of this? Because look, if they're moving on Lake, it means she represents a threat. If this is coming from the DeSantis team, as we seem to think, the money, not the team, but the money back in DeSantis, or the power brokers in Washington that seem to want DeSantis and want enough for her to bow out, and it is a senatorial race, then what's the threat?
Yeah.
What threat does she bring into the equation?
Oh, could be so many things too. I mean, the obvious
No,
jump
I
is,
understand. I'm not.
but
Sorry,
that's you're
it was a
right, Tim.
rhetorical.
That's the
It was a
question
rhetorical question,
right.
right?
That's the
Because
question to be asking.
right. It's a big, and not the individual threat. This or that type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's as much as saying her in the Senate represents a threat to some goal that they have enough that they do not want Trump and her in the Senate. Because if it was about Trump, as she was saying, then why are they trying to bribe her to stay out of the race? Not bribe her to say, hey, come work for us when you get in, do our bidding. They're trying to bribe her to stay out.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's what, if I'm thinking about it in terms of governor, like they don't want to tell her, don't do anything or we'll come for you. They were just saying, oh, just stay out for just 2 years, just stay out. And, uh, I think if we're going to take it in context, they're referring to the I hate the word gubernatorial election, but that's what it is. If this was in reference to staying out of the running for governor, there's so much corruption there that she would uncover. And all you got to do is pull any one of those strings. I'm sure it has to do with the cartels and trafficking and the
Right. But if this is truly about her senatorial race, if we're looking at it from that perspective, and it seems to be Liana Wilbur sent me. I knew the last name. I just was pondering if I should say the last name or not. But anyways, Liana sent me the DM me a larger context article, but I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. So. But I'm looking at it this way. If it's the gubernatorial race, then I can see that the aspect of getting really peeking under the covers in Arizona. If it's the senatorial race, and if we need to look at it from that perspective, right? Because of the mentioning of DeSantis and all that kind of stuff seems to be bracketing it more to the senatorial race. Then what threat is she representing? Because this guy's saying, "Oh, stay out for 2 years." Well, in 2 years, what would she be doing? Running for Congress? Because that's the only 2-year term. Running for governor? No. Running for senator? No. See what I mean?
right. Yeah. Or, if they mean it, if this guy who's coming in to bribe her is telling the truth and the people east really only want 2 years, because to me it sounds like just take the money and then we have you on accepting a bribe and then you'll never work again. Like that,
Oh, come on,
or
Adam. Seems like kind of she stayed out for 2 years. She fought the governor's election until she basically ran out of recourses and immediately jumped to the senatorial run.
yeah, and in the
She
process,
didn't stay out for 2 years.
she exposed the entire election fraud machine in Arizona in her wake. Carrie Wake killed it out there. She's the reason we understand so much more about how, at least in that state and in places with similar processes, exactly how they'll do it. And we know that they'll do it and lie and say they're not doing it straight to her face, and just how it's a perfect example of how, like, oh, if you didn't steal it, just let us look at this or that. And then they go, actually, you can't, and you never can. It's just perfect, more and more and more backing up all of our claims. When you're not allowed to look at the election, it's not a real election. It's just not. So,
Right. And it also shows this one is going to blow the lid off of the whole thing of, and everybody will say, oh, well, we know that there's dark money, but now you have an actual
Yeah.
aspect of a recording and it's naming DeSantis. Not DeSantis the man, DeSantis the backing.
At least, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can't say DeSantis the individual because it doesn't say it, right? So, and it
Right.
is about
But
keeping
DeSantis
Trump
is
out.
is the figurehead for the entire anti-Trump, uniparty right establishment power and the globalists that fund it. Absolutely. You can just DeSanctimonious means all of that. The guy himself,
Yeah,
and
which
all
then
of
makes
that,
it interesting when you look at Haley. Did they
yeah.
have two horses in the race?
Or do they? Not to completely like pivot, but you never, I'm still not, I still hold that the stupid DeSantis kayfabe argument could be real, could be a thing the whole time, because just because it's potentially kayfabe doesn't mean that DeSantis is a good guy. That's the part that I think is silly. Not to change topics too much, but since we are talking about DeSantis, we've been talking about this recording for a long time. I'll bring up this little side point that a lot of people are kind of on our side arguing that DeSantis is a patriot, and this has all been fake fighting, WWEF, whatever it's called, fake wrestling kayfabe, to draw out the bad actors in the donor class, in the media class, in the social influence, all of that, to expose who we should never trust again, whether it's for money, for funding, or for just political conversation online. Like, all of this, sure, but I do not think that means DeSantis is a good guy, definitely, even if it is all fake, and if he's working for Trump and they're best buddies, whatever. It could be that DeSantis is a pedophile, and he has to. You're given two choices, DeSantis. You can either run against Trump and do all the drawing of the funding and all of this, and back up the establishment that the elections aren't stolen and all this, or we can expose the inappropriate relationship that you had with a student when you were a teacher. It could be that. We have no idea. So there's a lot of infighting for some reason about DeSantis. I know that the DeSantis info op has been extremely divisive, and I would agree with others who've called it a hate movement against Trump and his supporters. That whole operation was launched long before he announced his candidacy. But I don't think that there's any reason that anybody needs to put their flag in any of these theories and say this is definitely what's happening, and then go fight our own side on the internet about it. Especially with this is just another very interesting part of a puzzle that I think we're kind of honored to watch unfold, with so much victory in our favor, in favor of the truth and exposure here.
Yep. I think at the end of this, there's going to be surprises galore.
Yeah, I do.
And we were told what makes a good movie.
Great actors.
Good actors.
That's right.
So we don't know.
No, we don't know.
And we are being manipulated.
Yep. By good and bad.
And it's true, because they're both sides are trying to sway opinion. The question is their goal. Now, and this is one of the things that I mentioned, again, going back to the Alex Soros tweet. They know the drops. They read the drops. They know they know Q, and even though they projected QAnon conspiracy theories and all this kind of shit, they know it, and they use it as well. Because again, going back to that money, it's not just that. It's the bills that were up. There were 5 bills. Yeah, I think it was. I don't have the photo in front of me. I'm trying to remember it. But the point is that out of the 5 bills, the ones that were upright, added up to 17.
Huh. That's interesting.
Right? So, and then there's all kinds of things you could read into it. There's all kind of, and the reason I say that, Max, obviously, let me rephrase that. Apparently, you haven't seen the article.
No.
Okay, the article has 2 photos. One of them is a bullet through the windshield, and the one next to it.
Yes, I've seen the picture. I didn't actually read the Atlantic article.
Yeah, the article's about money.
I did know that.
The financial system, the issues with the money and all that kind of stuff. That's what the article is about. It's all about the imagery, right? It's all about the picture. And that's why it was pretty interesting. So when you look at it, that kind of stuff, what I was saying is that they know. They may project one thing, but they know.
Absolutely, they know. Yeah. Yeah, and I was just kind of looking around on Twitter trying to see if there's any developments or anything else about this coming out, and it looks like New Hampshire is kind of taking the air out of the room because it's coming to a close in the next few hours. But Ghosted Base Patrick Henry had an interesting quote here saying, "Hey Carrie Lake, why hasn't at Carrie Lake? Why hasn't at Jeff DeWitt AZ been arrested for attempted bribery? Clearly, the scumbag works for some kind of DC-based organized crime syndicate. He talks like a mobster. Do we think he's involved in the child trafficking operation? Why won't law enforcement go after him?" And that's an aspect of this revelation that we have, Tien and I have not even gone into yet. What do you think is up with that? Do you think this has been... You think she made a criminal complaint when it happened, and he's just been protected
if there's
this
a
whole
criminal
time?
complaint, if there is one, and she just may leak it and see if there is, if somebody does, but somebody has to file a criminal complaint, or some government agency has to get involved. This would be racketeering, right?
Yeah.
It would fall into the racketeering type
And
of thing.
bribery and possible RICOing, and oh my God, it's just such a tangled web. But I love revelations of truth. I love them in all their forms. And this is just one of those moments, like, holy shit. What a bombshell, guys. This is crazy.
Yeah.
All right, let me hop back over to the chat and see.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
the other, no, I was just going to bring up the other, no, I lost what I was, I just lost what I was going to bring up because I was trying to go to the tweet so that you could see it. Let me,
Yeah, I wondered if it also had something to do with returning to the silverback, or at least.
well, that's the commodities backed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in essence, that's what the article is about. Money. It's not about, it's about,
But the
it's
threat
about
to
money and crime.
47.
It's trying to discredit the theory that inflation and crime, because it's saying crime was gone down and but they've like typical, they focus on a minute segment of the equation, violent crimes, and but they don't mention at all that a lot of states pass concealed carry laws that allow you to carry, and gee, you wonder why crime went down, right? But anyways, I was just going to share the article to read it, but is to see, this is the image right here.
Yes.
And then these are the bills. The 6 bills. There were 6 bills, right? And here's the $2 are silver certificates, and then when you look at the ones that are facing upright, right?
Mm-hmm.
And 5, 2, 17.
Yeah, it's so annoying that if it were an article in the Gateway Pundit with this image and it was $46, how the Secret Service would be coming after every single one of us who tweeted a repost of this or who retweeted it, or
Yeah. The
it's
thing
two
is
stock
that
images.
he's got an out. He's got an out. This is the same, and this, like I said, this is the same way that they did with Trump, and that's why I bring it up. Trump
Yeah.
with the baseball bat, right? I'm not saying that Trump. I cannot say what drove Trump to do that article. It could have been trolling the shit out of the media as they usually does. But in this particular case, look at what Alex Soros actually does. Right? Last
Right.
year, crime and inflation crisis largely evaporated, so that the leading theories about what that caused, right? That had caused them. That's all he did, and then does the Atlantic. It's an out. There's no threat.
Yeah, sure. It's plausible
I
deniability.
didn't
but-
know this. I mean, I didn't count the bills to see that it was 47.
Yeah,
Easy peasy, right?
it's true. It's plausible deniability, but you know what? Adrian, also known as Rise, my husband, yesterday had an awesome point, and I laughed out loud when he said it.
Here's
that,
the
like-
article, by the way. Here, no, go ahead. I'm just showing the article.
Okay, no, that's good. That's good. He said that these people, and he and I both believe that they have been attempting to take Trump out for years. Since long, before 2016, he took down mobsters in the 80s, in the 70s, the 80s. He is the target number one for a lot of bad people. And I just I'm not afraid that they're going to get to him, or that if they can, they would have by now, a long time ago. And I just think that kind of proves that they can't. But that these bad actors, if this is a real threat, which I think it is, I think he has plausible deniability. But the Atlantic and Alex Soros, they are the same thing. They're the same thing.
Yeah,
and they
No,
chose
don't
this, and it is a shielded or a veiled threat. And they can't even get away with that anymore. We have so many eyes all over the world on anything these people do that they can't even drop a clever little threat the way that they used to be able to do without everybody on the entire. If you go look at the comments on Alex Soros's true post of this article, the comments for miles of scrolling are all, "What are you trying to do? You trying to come after my boy?" Like people are on these guys. Like, that is
but that's why I'm saying trolling. They know how to troll just as much as Trump did. They know
it could be trolling.
People are watching, and they would see this and say, "Hey, 47," right?
So it just seems to me like they think we can't see them, because they used to operate like this, and they would get away with some kind of looming, like a power projection. This is
that's very true.
It could be trolling, but I think they're more desperate than to be
Mm.
trolling right now. I think they are desperate enough for sincerity in this being a real veiled threat, and they're so weak and so exposed that everybody in the world, all over the world, is commenting, we can see you, right? Like, we see what you're doing. That's how little power they have, or at least how exposed their attempts, whether it's trolling or not. Maybe it was a test run to see, like, how much are we being looked at right now. And like, I think it's a good sign.
I looked at it from the perspective of, they know how we roll in general.
Yeah.
And they know that we would have seen this as a threat, and make all the comments as we talk about this. So
why would they want us to do that? Like, why would I'm with you going down the road, like, that maybe it's a troll. Why would they want that?
To discredit another conspiracy theory for these loons.
I don't know. I guess I could see that, but like, it's plausibly deniable, but it is so threatening. It's like on its face.
It's only threatening because we see it as a threat. And I'm not disputing it, so don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah.
I'm saying we only seen it as a threat, and we talk about this, and like you were saying, we're going after my boy and all this guy, and then the first thing that they'll do is says, look at these nut jobs. They take an article from the Atlantic that has about the crime and money and the inflation, and they're making it that we're trying to assassinate Trump.
Well, yeah, I could see that. And that would look stupid. But then you say, well, what was the article? Like, the very first, like, it's not even buried within the article that we're talking about. It's the picture that comes up that they do. What are they supposed to say? It's just a coincidence.
No,
that it's 47 and a bullet hole.
But look at the article. The article is crime and money.
Right. But the image that shows with this article is the number 47 and a bullet hole, and then they have to say, oh, that's just a coincidence. Like, the people that are trying to convince everybody that everything that they think is going on the last 6 to 8 years is all just a big coincidence. I think they're running out of the coincidence card, maybe. I could see that maybe you're right. Maybe it's a troll, but it seems kind of
No, no, I'm
weakening.
not saying, look, don't get me wrong. What I'm trying to say is that they know how to troll and they know the duplicity. And not saying that it isn't a veiled threat or an open threat type of comment. And just
Yeah.
as I just all of a sudden say it's an open threat, but not for Trump, it's for Lake,
Right. Yeah.
right? Because what will it take for it to be Lake? $1 more.
That's
That's all
true.
it would take, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so and I was mentioning 1912 and all that kind of stuff, same year, and you guys have to understand. They know this. It's okay.
They're number freaks.
Let me explain something. It's like January 6th happened, right? January 6th, 2021, the insurrection. Gee, let's see. New Mexico was brought into the Union on January 6th, 1912.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you see how these things play into each other? So what I'm getting at is this.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what's another interesting thing? I just added up 1/6 in 2021, and it's 2028, which if she was saying 48, that's again Arizona saying 48, saying 2028. I don't know. That's interesting that the answer is
and
2028.
it's that play, and all
Yeah,
I'm saying is that it could be it's the duplicity.
it is.
They are just as duplicitous and double speaking and double messages and triple messages and layering of messages, just as we've been taught to read between the lines, whether it's the Q drops or whether it's Trump's truth posts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right?
Absolutely.
They know that game just as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's why good guys decided to teach us that way of looking at things, is to
Correct.
understand what our enemy is doing and how to read what they're saying to each other to a point where they can't even maybe get away with so much as posting a silly screenshot of two stock images in an article as a threat anymore without everybody knowing what they're up to. Well, Tian, it is 5:55. Do we want to go through some final thoughts?
Well,
And
I'm going to stay on because Adel has to come back to turn off the stream. So
yeah,
until
that's
he
true.
does
Yeah,
that,
he does.
no, I mean
I
you,
did just
you
want to
don't
make
have to.
sure.
It's
No,
just
I'm
that,
good to stay as long as we need to. I just wanted to,
yeah.
I realized we could talk forever and I just realized what time it is. So I don't have, I've been like refreshing Windows enough times where I don't think I could read all of his gold pill chats. I don't know if you've had the same,
No,
foxhole thing
he's got
open.
the stuff that he can do from.
Yeah. But I do want to just take 1 second and share my screen really quick to remind everybody while there's still time. Let's see, share screen. I want this one.
I think we did this one on Rumble the entire show then, huh? Did he turn off Rumble?
Oh yeah, we did. Well,
Oh well.
get a bonus one this time.
That's a
guys.
bonus. Yeah, there you go. Now go
So-
ahead. Yeah, like the Valfrentines.
Yeah, Valfrentines cookies.
Oh, Valfrentines, yeah. Sorry.
Valfrentines. No, that's okay.
Frankenstein. Walk this way.
Happy Valfrentines Day. So these are my newest, and they're the perfect little set of 2 sugar kekis for you and your loved one. They are 30 but free shipping. And I think this is a great way to celebrate, or whether it's for, a friend or your wife, your husband, your son, your daughter. They're not, you're not locked into an entire dozen of these, but you can get like a smaller order that is a beautiful way, instead of going to Russell Stover at Walmart and buying a packaged thing or baking it yourself. There's this parallel economy way to celebrate and just share a little love, because Pepe is love in my mind, and so are cookies. And cookies make people happy. Pepe's make people happy, and I like to make cookies, and I like to make people happy. So I'm gonna stop the screen share and drop the link. Did I stop sharing? Yeah, I did, right?
Yes.
So I have these in person. I can see them right here. They're looking at each other because they love each other. These are nice, big, heavy cookies, and they are delicious. 2 professionally baked sugar kekis. You can see the weight and the thickness, and they're a great Valentine. So if you don't want to miss out, grab your kekis. We'll drop the links, and I'm sure Jolene and others are helping me drop them. I want to eat one of these so bad, and I'm on a no sugar diet, and I can't. But you can eat one for me. So check it out. Make sure that you order soon, because I'm going to update the listing for the final day to order. They will all be shipped out in time for you to have them for Valentine's. And if Valentine's is on like a Tuesday, let me look. When is it on? It's on a Wednesday. So I'll make sure, if you want them before the 14th, just let me know in your order in the notes, and I'll ship them out when you want them. But yeah, they are a delicious and beautiful, happy way to celebrate. And not only that, there's also all kinds of goodies and fun things that you still have time to order right now from RiseAttireUSA.com, especially if it's a direct-to-garment thing. You want to surprise somebody with what they didn't get for Christmas this year and make it up to them for Valentine's. There's a bunch of great stuff, including the 412 gear. You can support Adel and the channel, as well as Rise Attire, a small, very small business, Patriot-owned, made in America apparel. So yeah, that's my pitch. Thank you all for all of your support over the many years, both in the cookies, but of course through Rise Attire. And you can use code WTPRISE for 10% off. If I hope it's not more than that and I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure it's 10% off. There's so many codes out there, but I'm almost sure it's 10% off WTPRISE. And that is good for anything on RiseAttireUSA.com. Stay tuned, because we've got more and more stuff that we're working on right now. Some really cool illustrated things and some new products and ways that we're trying to level up, because 2024 is the year to level up, guys. So we're doing
that's
it.
what I was going to ask, if you had any new designs coming.
We do have I'm working on something. I'm just going to say Seth Rich.
Yeah, not let the cat out of the bag.
I'm just going to say it's Seth Rich related. Stay tuned. I'm really excited. It's an idea I've had for a while. So that's being in the works right now. And we're also doing some more stuff with like True the Vote and other beautiful members of our INTL community. That's our merchandise for hire operation. So if anybody out there is still using Teespring and you don't want them, the bad guys, to spring it on other patriots and remove their income, they can produce their manufacture merchandise made in America through our site. They don't have to run their own website. They don't have to depend on big tech. Rise Attire has a solution called Rise International, Rise INTL, and let other content creators know, or if you have an idea and you just want to make a shirt, you can sell it and we'll handle all of it. Drop shipping for you, manufacturing on demand, low overhead, all that. We're trying to build a parallel economy, and 2024 is the year for that to shine. So we can't do it without all you guys. Stay tuned, and thanks again on behalf of everybody at Rise.
Hey guys, thank you,
Max.
Oh, Adel returns. Give him a hand, everybody. Give him a hand.
Thank you guys so much for covering. I deteriorated very quickly after I threw up and just got so lightheaded and nauseous. I couldn't focus. So I listened to the show. You guys were amazing. I'm very sorry I missed today. I'm hoping that this is something I'll just be able to sleep off. But go ahead, Tian Homesteader, and say your goodbyes as well. And I'm just going to shut this down and I'm going to go lay down.
Yeah, no worries. I'm good to go. Thank you. I hope lay down. Kaopectate. Tell you, one time I was coming after I ate something in Grand Caymans, and I landed in the island, and that's the first thing. It's like, oh my God. The first thing I did is go to the drugstore and get Kaopectate, and done.
Okay.
Now, of course, that means that you have to run out, so you may not want to do that. But unfortunately, if you don't have any of that, but
you text that to me, Tian, whatever that is, so I can.
Yeah.
And the whole chat's been sending you well wishes. Everybody hopes you feel better, Adel.
I've seen a lot of it in the background. I was kind of laying in bed watching and listening. You guys were great. You guys did an awesome job. Thank you so much. And yeah, live chat. I should be back tomorrow, unless for whatever reason this continues bothering me. But I just think I need to go and sleep it.
Rest up.
Yeah. So anything else, guys, before I'm just gonna shut it down. There's not gonna be any fancy sign off or anything.
That's
so.
okay.
I'm good.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.
I just
Sorry.
gilded.
All right, thank you. Yeah, go hang out with Seasoned Pixels. He's about to go live in 20 minutes. Otherwise, guys, I apologize for the show today, or at least for not being part of it. But thank God for Max and TN; they did a great job. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 4. Good night, everybody.